I left 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒄 back then because of Drake. My father believed Drake wasn't worthy of me, the rightful heir to the Alpha King. But I loved Drake. So I gave up my inheritance, hid my true identity, and ran away with him. I never expected that our relationship wouldn't even last 7 years. And now, I was about to leave him. And yet, returning to 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒄 wouldn't be easy. I recalled my father's concerned look when he opposed our relationship 7 years ago. The memory left me unsettled as I closed my eyes, trying to summon the wolf within me and reconnect with my family. Just as I did, an overwhelming scent of roses filled the air, making me choke. Drake wrapped his arms around me from behind as he asked in a soft voice,
"Did I wake you? It's still early. Why don't you sleep a little longer?"
He didn't know that I only pretended to be asleep on all those nights he went to see Jasmine. I was actually awake, waiting for him to come home. Lately, he'd been staying at Jasmine's place until morning. His entire body reeked of her strong rose perfume. I pushed him away with disgust. "Go take a shower. You smell awful." He sniffed himself and looked a little embarrassed before stepping back.
"Sorry for ignoring your feelings, Selena. I know I've been seeing Jazz a lot lately. Has that been bothering you? I'll spend more time with you for the next few days, okay? I'm sure Jazz will understand."
I watched him walk into the bathroom in silence. Since when did spending time with me require Jasmine's permission? To outsiders, I probably looked like the mistress ruining the bond between an alpha and his Luna. He wore nothing but a towel when he stepped out of the bathroom. As he wiped the water dripping down his abs, he looked just as handsome and irresistible as the day I first met him. Back then, I had sneaked out of 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒄 for fun, only to be ambushed by an enemy tribe. He happened to pass by and save me, who was all alone, and got injured because of that. He took off his shirt for me to tend to his wounds, and the way the blood trickled down his abs made my face burn. I quickly looked away, but he wouldn't let me.
"I saved you. That means you're mine now. I fell for you the moment I saw you. Be my one and only mate. You can stare at me whenever you want, okay?"
He caught me staring at his abs again before laughing and pulling me into his arms happily.
"Baby, do you want to have a good look? Come on."
He became excited and took off his towel, but I frowned and turned my face away. He was not the same man he was 7 years ago. No matter how many times he showered, that sickly sweet rose scent wouldn't come off. It made me sick. Before I could push him away, a loud, urgent knock on the door interrupted us. It was Jasmine's maid.
"Did you call a doctor? What do you mean she's suddenly not feeling well?"
The moment Drake heard that Jasmine wasn't feeling well, he didn't even hesitate to shove me aside as he rushed to get dressed.
"She was fine when we were in bed just now."
Then, as if realizing what he just said, he paused and looked at me with guilt.
"I'll be back soon. Owen is dead. I'm all she has now. Just wait for me, okay?"
He never needed my permission or approval to go see Jasmine, unlike when he was with me. He just expected me to wait for him indefinitely. But I couldn't wait anymore. I wouldn't. I smiled at him, and that was all it took to put his mind at ease as he walked out the door, leaving me and our son Caden behind again. He didn't know that I'd received news that he was planning a marking ceremony with Jasmine. I closed my eyes and called upon the wolf I'd kept hidden for so long. Maybe this was for the best. His betrayal would make it easier for me to leave with Caden. I got in touch with my family easily. They were overjoyed, especially my father. The moment he found out he was a grandfather, he was so emotional he nearly cried. He wanted Caden and me to return to 𝒂𝒂𝒄𝒄 immediately. Just then, my sleeping son mumbled softly in his sleep.
"Daddy, you promised me."
It would be his 5th birthday in 2 days. Even in his dreams, he was holding on to Drake's promise to celebrate his birthday together. I gently stroked his sleeping face as tears welled up in my eyes. Just 2 more days. I wanted Caden to leave without any regrets. But before dawn, a sharp knock on the door shattered his sweet dream. It was Drake's mother, Patricia Sinclair, sending someone to bring Caden and me back to her place. I frowned, knowing that Patricia had always looked down on us. To her, I was just some nameless rogue from an outsider tribe who got lucky when I met her precious son, Drake. And she didn't like Caden either. After all, she thought that someone like Jasmine, who had pure blood and came from the same pack, was the only woman worthy of being Luna. Unlike me, Caden was excited. He thought Drake was finally coming to take him home. But when we arrived at Patricia's house, we were greeted by Drake's relatives, all looking at us with disdain. Drake, who hadn't come home all night, was standing beside Jasmine with a gentle expression as he supported her. Patricia completely ignored Caden and me, smiling as she made an announcement.
"Jasmine is pregnant. As per our agreement, Drake will be the next alpha of the Blazetooth pack. Their child will be the rightful heir. And soon, Drake and Jasmine will hold their marking ceremony."
The room erupted in excitement as everyone turned to Jasmine. I, however, stared straight at Drake. He placed a tender hand on Jasmine's stomach, acting like he couldn't see me or Caden standing just a few feet away.
Yeah, I'm finally going to be a father.
Finally, a sharp pain shot through my heart. Beside me, Caden had his little hand tightened around mine as he asked in a trembling voice,
Mommy, what is Daddy saying? Am I not his child?
His soft voice made the entire room go silent. Then, Drake's relatives sneered.
He's just an illegitimate child, but he actually dared to speak up here. If people find out the alpha of 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒆 has an illegitimate child, do you know what that'll do to our reputation?
A low-born woman and her brat trying to claim the
heir's position? You can only do it over my dead body.
There's no way we can let anyone know that kid is Drake's.
Patricia scoffed and looked at us with pure disdain.
From now on, we'll say the child is an orphan we took in. As for Selena, she's just a maid Drake hired to take care of him.
I gripped Caden's hand tighter. I had always known Patricia hated us. She was the one who first suggested that Jasmine should carry Drake's child.
I'm not an orphan. I have a mommy and a daddy.
Caden's eyes turned red as he held back his tears, protesting in a small voice.
Mom, isn't this going too far?
Drake let go of Jasmine's hand and took a step toward us. But before he could come any closer, I saw Jasmine reach out and pull him back. He hesitated for a few seconds. Then, he fell silent.
Fine. I agree with your plan.
I stepped forward with Caden and faced Drake and Patricia head-on. My child is not an orphan. He doesn't need to be adopted. From this day forward, Caden is mine alone. He has nothing to do with Drake. I kneeled and fought back tears as I whispered to Caden, Baby, don't call him daddy anymore, okay? Drake froze. He knew it was all because of Caden that I had agreed to return to 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒆 and accepted his relationship with Jasmine. He promised to give Caden a rightful identity. And now, I was giving that up myself. He stared into my eyes, trying to read my emotions. But I looked away. He would never have my heart again. Caden was too young to understand everything that was happening. He cried so hard that his eyes were swollen. I just wanted to take him home and comfort him, but Jasmine blocked our way.
Selena, I heard Drake gave you a ring that represents his family's status. Since I'm his Luna now, and my child will be the heir of the pack, shouldn't you hand it over? We wouldn't want anyone to get the wrong idea if they saw you still wearing it.
So that was it. This was the real reason they brought us here. It was purely to humiliate us. I turned to Drake and asked coldly, Is this what you want as well? That ring had been a token of our love, the very first thing he had given me the night we became mates. He had told me he was giving me everything: his name, his title, his entire life. He had promised I would be his one and only mate. I had abandoned my family, hidden my true identity, and given him my heart because of that promise. Now, faced with my question, he avoided my gaze.
Selena, it's just a ring.
Fine. I looked at the deep red marks on Jasmine's neck planted by him before pulling off the ring without hesitation. Seeing that she eagerly slid it onto her own finger, I even smiled and congratulated her. You're a much better fit than I ever was. Drake's expression twisted in shock as I turned away, took Caden's hand, and walked out without looking back. Caden couldn't understand what had happened today. He cried silently in my arms and asked me if Drake didn't want him anymore and if I was the only person in the world who loved him. I held him tightly. That's not true. Many people love my little hero. Grandpa Alex and Grandma Bella miss us very much. They can't wait to see you. Do you want to leave with me and go find them? He hesitated, clutching the toy car Drake had given him last year for his birthday.
But I don't want to leave Daddy.
I held back my tears and gently reassured him, Daddy and Grandma Patricia don't want us to stay here. Do you want to call him Uncle Drake for the rest of your life? He froze for a moment, then slowly put down the toy car. Tears welled up in his eyes as he pleaded with me.
Can I at least spend this birthday with Daddy before we leave? I just want one last memory with him.
He refused to call him Uncle Drake. I silently wiped away my tears and kissed the top of his head. Of course, my love. But 2 days later, on his birthday, Drake, who had promised to throw him a party, never showed up. I called him and asked angrily, It's Caden's birthday today. You promised you'd be home. Where are you? I could handle disappointment but couldn't bear to see Caden's last bit of hope shatter. Drake didn't say a single word before hanging up.
Daddy's not coming, is he?
Caden lowered his head, staring at the cake before him while trying to convince himself.
It's okay, Mommy. Uncle Drake is just really busy. You can celebrate with me instead.
It was the first time he'd ever called Drake uncle. He seemed to accept that Drake didn't want him anymore, but the way he bit his lip and forced a smile shattered my heart into pieces. Furious, I was about to call him again when I suddenly received a message from him. Come back to 𝒂𝒗𝒆 Pack. Baby, look. Daddy remembered your birthday. Caden's eyes lit up with hope as he gasped in excitement.
Mommy, Daddy remembered my birthday. Let's go! He must have so many presents for me.
After receiving confirmation from Drake that he had indeed prepared a birthday party, Caden was beyond ecstatic. He grabbed my hand and practically dragged me to the villa in the pack. But as soon as I stepped inside, my heart sank at the sight before me. The room was filled with roses. Guests in formal attire mingled around. This didn't feel like a birthday party at all. It felt more like... Caden, however, didn't notice. He ran straight toward Drake, who was standing in front of a cake, and threw himself into his arms.
Daddy, I'm here. Are you waiting for me to cut the cake?
Drake looked utterly shocked to see us.
Why are you here?
He was dressed in his formal suit and standing next to Jasmine. His reaction confirmed my worst fear. The guests began whispering amongst themselves.
Isn't today supposed to be Alpha Drake's announcement of his Luna? Why is there suddenly a kid here? That child called him daddy. Could he be an illegitimate son?
Hearing their words, Drake suddenly pushed Caden away.
What did you just call me?
Caden stumbled backward, falling to the floor. He looked up at Drake, terrified, unsure of what he had done wrong. This was too much. I rushed forward to pick him up, ready to leave, but Jasmine stepped in front of me.
Selena, today is the official announcement of Drake's and my titles. You crashed the event on purpose, didn't you?
The smug smirk on her face told me everything I needed to know. She was the one who had sent that text. She clung to Drake's arm and said in a voice dripping with mockery,
I've warned you before. No matter how much you love our Alpha, you can't just drag some stray in here and claim he's his child. I'm right, aren't I, Drake?
Drake avoided my gaze and nodded. I held my sobbing son close, my patience finally snapping. Caden is not a stray. I gave birth to him. And his father was a great Alpha. Far greater than anyone in this little pack. I carried Caden and turned to leave, but Jasmine suddenly slapped me across the face.
How dare you lie? You're just some outsider trash. We took you and your brat in. Is this how you repay us? Spreading lies about our Alpha and insulting our pack? Someone come and beat her.
The members of the pack rushed forward, pinning me to the ground. Their fists rained down on me mercilessly. Through the pain, I looked up at Drake with red eyes and found that his face was filled with hesitation as Jasmine clung tightly to his arm. I didn't owe him anything anymore. 7 years ago, he saved my life and loved me with all his heart since then. But all of that, all the love, all the memories had been shattered under their fists. Caden sobbed desperately. He grabbed onto Drake's pant leg and suddenly dropped to his knees.
Uncle, no, Alpha Drake. I was wrong. Please, I beg you, stop hurting my mommy.
Both Drake and I were stunned.
Stop!
Drake immediately ordered them to back off, staring at Caden like he couldn't believe what he had just heard.
What did you just call me?
Alpha Drake, since mommy and I are not welcome here, we'll leave now.
It was like he had grown up in an instant. His tiny hands trembled as he helped me stand and guided me out of the villa under everyone's watchful eyes. A message from Drake popped up on my phone. Don't be mad. Take Caden home. I'll come back tonight. Caden ignored the message. He held back his tears as he looked at me and asked,
Mommy, you said Grandpa Alex and Grandma Bella miss us, right? Then let's leave right now.
I looked at Caden, who suddenly became mature, and swallowed hard as I nodded. That night, I burned everything that tied us to this place. And then, I took him and left for good. Before leaving, I sent Drake one final message. Alpha Drake, Caden and I are gone. I wish you happiness in your new life. Goodbye forever. Then, I deactivated my number and sank phone to the bottom of the lake. Meanwhile, Drake, who was still in the middle of the ceremony, felt a sharp pain in his heart. His eyes fixed on the message, and a terrible feeling crept into his mind. He called me over and over again, but all he heard was the cold, endless, busy tone.
What's wrong, Drake? The guests are watching.
Jasmine noticed something was off and urged him to finish the ceremony, but he threw the family ring to the ground and bolted from the stage, leaving her behind as he rushed toward the villa doors. The guards at the entrance immediately blocked his way.
Move! I am Alpha Drake. I need to go home.
He demanded they open the gate, but the guards only exchanged uneasy glances. Alpha Drake, this is your home. Your mother ordered us not to let you leave until the ceremony is complete.
Get out of my way.
Drake.
Jasmine hurried after him, and her desperation turned to hysteria.
What are you doing? Are you not going to complete the marking ceremony with me anymore?
No!
Drake wiped his face and suddenly became determined. With a furious roar, his muscles expanded, shredding his perfectly tailored suit. A massive, ferocious grey wolf emerged in his place. With one powerful leap, he knocked the guards aside and broke through the wooden gate. The cold night air howled past his ears as he ran, and suddenly, he remembered the night we ran away together. It had been a bitterly cold winter. Snowflakes clung to my lashes, and my nose and eyes were red from the freezing wind. Still, I reached up and pressed my warm palms against his frostbitten ears. His heart skipped a beat. That was the moment he had asked me if I wanted to leave Windmere with him. Tears blurred my vision as I nodded furiously, letting him pull me into his burning embrace. 1 year later, on that very same day, Caden was born. Today was the anniversary of the day we fell in love and left together. Drake's chest tightened. He tried to reassure himself, she wouldn't leave. Selena loves me too much to leave. Where would she even go? She wouldn't take Caden and become a rogue. She's just mad. I'll go home, mollify her a little, and everything will be fine. He muttered to himself, but his strides only grew faster and more frantic. It wasn't until he reached the house and saw the warm glow of lights in the windows and the smoke curling from the chimney that he finally breathed again. Shifting back into his human form, he schooled his face into cold indifference. As he smoothed down his wind-tousled hair, he grumbled to himself, Selena went too far this time. No matter how angry she is, she shouldn't use leaving as a threat. Before I mollify her, I need to teach her a lesson so that she will not just throw around threats like that. With that thought, he kicked open the door with an icy expression, waiting for me to throw myself into his arms as I always did. But the moment the door swung open, the people inside turned to stare at him in shock.
Alpha Drake. What are you doing here?
He froze as he looked at the unfamiliar family sitting inside his home. His chest tightened.
Who are you? Where are the mother and son who lived here?
The werewolves inside hesitated before answering.
They left.
One of them finally said.
Luna Jasmine told us they were just rogues, and nothing in this pack ever belonged to them. So we moved in after they left.
He felt his blood run cold. His legs buckled beneath him, and he collapsed onto the floor. When Drake woke up, the sky had already dimmed into dusk. The room was cast in a soft, flickering light. He had been placed in our bedroom. The blanket covering him carried my familiar scent of vanilla, and the figure by the bed, with long hair cascading down like mine, was wringing out a warm, damp towel for him. Selena. A surge of emotion hit him, and he pulled the woman into his arms without thinking.
You're back.
But the scent of roses snapped him out of his daze. Drake, I thought you weren't going to complete the ceremony. I thought you were really going to leave me. Jasmine sobbed, burying herself against his chest. Don't worry, I already drove those wolves out. I'll stay with you since you like it here. You, me, and the child will live here together. For the first time, Drake found Jasmine's scent unbearable. His expression darkened as he pushed her away with clear disgust.
Get away from me. Your scent is revolting. Don't come near me.
He stumbled out of bed, scanning the room, desperate to find me.
Selena.
But there was no trace of me or Caden. Everything that belonged to me was gone. The closet no longer held our clothes. The photographs and documents had been burned to ashes.
No, this isn't possible.
He refused to accept it. Then he found that a once delicate wooden box now lay charred and blackened. This box had always held the dried flowers I treasured, but now they had been reduced to ashes. He stared blankly at the ashes in the box, only then remembering how much time and effort he had spent to convince me to leave with him back then. It was cold in Windmere, with frequent snowfall. But I loved flowers. So he had searched tirelessly through the ice and snow, bringing me a single flower every day for 100 days. On the 100th day, I had taken the flower, cupped his frostbitten ears between my palms to warm them, and whispered that I would leave Windmere with him. For the past 7 years, I had carefully dried and preserved those flowers, tucking them away in that wooden box. Now, there was nothing left but dust. He turned to look at the empty room and felt like something had been torn out of him. How could the person who had always waited for him just disappear? He clutched his face. Then, suddenly he laughed. How ridiculous.
Selena would never leave me. She wouldn't.
He muttered to himself, trying to hypnotize himself into believing it. He refused to face his mistakes, as if ignoring them would somehow turn back time so that when he woke up the next day, Caden and I would come running to him. He locked himself in the bedroom and scrolled through our past messages over and over again. For the past 6 months, our conversations had been painfully sparse. I had been the one who initiated the conversation, mostly asking if he was busy with the pack's affairs, reminding him to eat on time. But as he spent more and more time with Jasmine, I had reached out less and less. It was as if my silence was the only way I could voice my anger. Then, he saw the message sent by Jasmine on his behalf, asking Caden and me to the pack to celebrate Caden's birthday. And he saw the last one sent by me. Alpha Drake, Caden and I are gone. I wish you in your new life. Goodbye, forever. He collapsed. His hands trembled as he grabbed his phone, typing frantically.
Selena, I know everything now. Please don't be mad. Just come back, okay? If you won't do it for me, then do it for Caden. Where will you go with him? Are you going to let him grow up as a rogue?
His fingers flew across the screen, firing off message after message. He was shaking so badly, but he barely noticed.
I'm waiting at home. Listen, I didn't go through with the ceremony. If you come back before tomorrow, you'll still be my one and only Luna, and Caden will still be my heir.
But every desperate plea and veiled threat had already sunk to the bottom of the lake along with my discarded phone. Drake locked himself in our bedroom. He stared at the messages he had sent, messages that were left unanswered, all night long.
No, my Selena will come back.
He heard footsteps approaching the door and stood up eagerly. He could already smell the familiar scent of vanilla that belonged to me even through the door.
Selena.
He threw the door open without hesitation and pulled the woman standing outside into a tight embrace.
I knew it. You could never bear to leave me.
Drake.
The moment he saw Jasmine's face, the excitement in his eyes vanished completely. His expression twisted into one of pure rage, devoid of any tenderness.
Who told you to wear Selena's clothes? How dare she wear Selena's nightgown? No wonder I mistook her for Selena.
He thought. Jasmine, caught in her deception, stammered in defense.
I just wanted something more comfortable to wear while taking care of you. This was the only thing I could find in the house.
Before she could finish, he shoved her to the floor, grabbing at the fabric clinging to her body.
Take it off. You have no right to wear her clothes.
Jasmine was terrified and couldn't believe how roughly he was treating her.
Drake, we're about to have our marketing ceremony. I'm your mate. Selena isn't coming back. She left the pack with that little bastard. There are so many rogues out there, she's probably already been torn apart and left to rot in some ditch.
Shut up, you bitch.
His fury exploded as his hand wrapped around her throat.
Say one more word, and I'll kill you.
She struggled, choking out her plea.
Drake, I'm carrying your child. I'm your mate.
He let out a cold laugh, and his voice was devoid of any warmth.
My only mate is Selena. Do you think you can replace her? You're just a used-up whore that Owen had his fun with. I never intended for you to be my Luna. The only reason I agreed to this marking ceremony was to make you pay for what you did back, then throwing me away for power and choosing Owen as your mate.
Jasmine's eyes widened in shock, and her face twisted in disbelief. He scoffed.
Now that the show is over and I'm the alpha of 𝒂𝒗𝒆 pack, you're useless to me.
He grabbed her wrist roughly and yanked off the ring on her hand.
This belonged to Selena.
Then, with a ruthless grip, he lifted her by the throat and threw her aside. Picking up the nightgown he had torn from her, he carefully brushed away the dust.
I'm warning you, if you want to keep breathing, don't touch anything that belongs to Selena ever again.
Without sparing her another glance, he turned to the guards with burning eyes and ordered,
Find Selena and Caden. Search the entire werewolf territory if you have to. I want them found, no matter what. I want to see them whether they're dead or alive.
By the time Drake had made up his mind to find us no matter the cost, Caden and I had already arrived safely in Windmere, escorted by our family. It had been years since I'd last seen my father, but when he laid eyes on me and Caden, he didn't utter a single word of blame. He and my mother simply pulled us both into a tight embrace. Tears streamed down his weathered face as he kept whispering,
You're home. That's all that matters. You're home.
The great and mighty Alpha King of Windmere was nothing more than an old man who had spent years grieving for his lost daughter at this moment. I felt both moved and guilty. At first, Caden had been timid, feeling unfamiliar with his new surroundings. But the warmth of my parents quickly melted away his hesitance, and soon, he was smiling again. After everything he had endured in 𝒂𝒗𝒆 pack, he had grown so much. On our very first night back in Windmere, he looked up at me with determined eyes and said,
Mommy, I'll protect you from now on.
When he learned that I was the only daughter of the Alpha King of Windmere, he didn't react with shock. Instead, when I began learning from my father about how to manage the affairs here, he quietly followed along, observing and absorbing everything. My father witnessed how steady and mature he had become and rested a hand on his head with pride.
Windmere has never lacked exceptional heirs. I will train you both into the greatest alpha kings the werewolves have ever known.
I felt Caden squeeze my hand, and our eyes met. The days when we were scorned as mongrel rogues and humiliated and cast aside were far behind us. Of course, even in Windmere, we still occasionally hear news about the 𒂂𝒂𝒆 pack. When I first heard that Drake had fled from his marking ceremony, I was surprised. Wasn't it his dream to make Jasmine his Luna and become the alpha of 𝒂𝒗𝒆?
I heard he abandoned his Luna Jasmine because of his ex-girlfriend.
Isn't Jasmine his ex-girlfriend?
Of course not. The story goes that years ago, he came to Windmere to clear his mind after Jasmine dumped him. That's where he met a female werewolf, and they even had a child together. Now he has dumped Jasmine and is searching everywhere for that woman and their son.
Seriously? That's wild.
The castle maids gossiped in hushed voices until Caden walked past and cut them off.
How entertaining can the affairs of a small pack really be? Is it worth wasting time on idle chatter?
Then he turned to me, his expression softening into a smile.
Mom, let's go! Grandpa Alex says there's still a lot of work waiting for us.
I watched him carrying himself like a ruler despite his young age. My heart swelled with pride as I nodded. I had always known that Drake had practically sent the entire 𝒂𝒂𝒆 pack out to search for us. But he had no idea that the woman he thought was wandering, lost and homeless, was actually the rightful heir to the Alpha King of Windmere. My father, who had learned how much we had suffered in 𝒂𝒂𝒆 pack, had no intention of ever letting Drake learn the truth. Hence, no matter how desperately Drake searched for us or how many wolves he sent out, he would never find us. After all, he had already announced that Caden was no longer his son or a part of 𝒂𝒂𝒆 pack. The next time I saw Drake was at the ceremony announcing Caden and me as the rightful heirs. As the alpha of 𝒂𝒂𝒆 pack, Drake had no choice but to set aside his search for us and travel to Windmere to attend this grand event. Over time, while Windmere had grown stronger, 𝒂𝒂𝒆 pack had lost its standing among the werewolves due to his incompetence. So when Patricia and his relatives kneeled in reverence during the ceremony and then looked up just to see the ones they were groveling to were Caden and me dressed in regal finery, their eyes widened in shock, unable to believe what they were seeing. Drake, however, was thrilled. He swept away the exhaustion from his face, grabbed my wrist, and shouted, completely disregarding the occasion.
Selena, I finally found you. You have no idea how much I've missed you all this time.
Before he could finish, I coldly shook off his hand. The towering guards seized him at once.
Where did this stray come from? How dare you show disrespect to the royal family of the Alpha King of Windmere?
Drake stared at me and Caden in disbelief. The royal family of the Alpha King of Windmere. He turned to my father, who remained cold and expressionless, and then suddenly burst into laughter in front of the gathered crowd.
Selena, so, you married some dying old man just to survive, huh?
No one expected my dignified father to step down from his throne and personally slap this small pack's alpha across the face.
If you dare insult my daughter, the future female Alpha King of Windmere, again, I guarantee your entire pack won't live to see the sunrise.
Realizing my true identity, the 𝒂𝒂𝒆 pack's members were overcome with terror and fell to their knees, begging for mercy. Only Drake remained standing, staring at me, mumbling over and over,
Daughter, the future female Alpha King of Windmere.
I lowered my gaze, swished my sleeve, and turned to leave with Caden, but Drake broke free and rushed forward to block my path.
You're the heir to Windmere. Why didn't you ever tell me?
There was anger in his voice, yet also an unmistakable joy.
No wonder I couldn't find you and our son. But it's okay now. We can finally be together again.
I looked at him coldly. Alpha Drake, I don't recall ever having a son with you. Looking at his face filled with disbelief, I felt nothing. I abandoned my rightful place and left Windmere back then when I was young and foolish. Fortunately, people from a small pack helped me come to my senses in time. They taught me that love and waiting would mean nothing when given to the wrong person. So thank you, Alpha Drake. And thank you, 𝒂𝒂𝒆 pack. Perhaps he had never seen me so indifferent and resolute before, but his expression slowly crumbled. Yet, he refused to give up. He clutched onto my robes, unwilling to let go.
Selena, I know you're angry. I came all this way to apologize. I was wrong. I really was. I love you. I can't live without you. Our son. We have a son. He used to rely on me so much. I don't believe he doesn't miss me. Can you?
I couldn't help but laugh. His absurd words amused me. So, he had always known Caden depended on him. Perhaps that was precisely why, knowing he was our only pillar of support, he had repeatedly broken his promises, neglecting us time and time again. Other than finding it ridiculous and laughable, I felt absolutely nothing for his words or actions anymore.
I believe your son does miss you.
Caden stepped forward, offering him a polite yet distant smile. Hearing Caden's words, Drake was overcome with emotion and reached forward, wanting to embrace him. But Caden smacked away his hand, which had been clutching my sleeve.
But I have never once missed my father. Because my father died the day he denied my existence and stood by while my mother was beaten to the ground. Alpha Drake, as the third-generation heir of Windmere, this is my final warning. My mother is of the royal bloodline of Windmere. Do not insult her ever again. Take your pack and go back to your territory. Go live out your days with the Luna and heir you've spent all your nights yearning for.
He took my arm and walked away without ever looking back, leaving Drake frozen in place. He collapsed to his knees and clutched his face as he broke down in gut-wrenching sobs. Perhaps he had accepted the truth that Caden and I no longer loved him. We were no longer waiting. We no longer had any hope. That same day, he left with the wolves of the 𝒂𝒂𝒆 pack. They said the once handsome Alpha Drake aged years overnight. Dark circles ringed his hollow eyes, and his face was covered in an unkempt beard. He looked utterly wrecked. But none of that had anything to do with me or Caden anymore. The next time I heard news of Drake was when my father decided to abdicate, officially passing the title of female Alpha King to me. Rumors spread that after returning to 𝒂𝒂𝒆 pack, Drake had refused to complete the marking ceremony with Jasmine. To rebel against Patricia and his family, he declared that even if they forced him to take a Luna, he'd only acknowledge the heir of Windmere as his son. To prove it, he even went as far as to undergo sterilization. But it was all meaningless. All it did was confirm that Jasmine's unborn child would be 𝒂𝒂𝒆 pack's rightful alpha. In the end, under the relentless pressure of Patricia, he was forced to mark Jasmine. Patricia believed that even with me the female Alpha King of Windmere gone, Jasmine's pure bloodline would ensure she became the perfect Luna, just as she had always envisioned. She had never expected to have made the wrong choice all along. She had underestimated Jasmine's viciousness. Feeling like the pack had ruined her, Jasmine fought with Patricia every single day, their battles turning into a humiliating spectacle for the entire werewolf world. Drake was bitter and resentful over being forced to take Jasmine as his mate. One day, during yet another heated argument, he suddenly shoved her down the stairs. Jasmine lost the child on the spot and completely lost her mind. To her, without the baby, she had no status, no power, and no love from Drake. So she grabbed a silver dagger and drove it straight into Drake's heart. As he took his final breath, she plunged the same blade into her own chest, collapsing beside his lifeless body. Her trembling fingers traced his cold face as she whispered,
"Now, you'll be mine forever."
It was the greatest scandal the werewolf world had ever seen. 𝒂𝒂𝒆 pack's reputation and status plummeted. But Patricia was far more concerned about legacy than dignity. So she led her relatives to the gates of Windmere Palace, begging us to let Caden take his rightful place as 𝒂𝒂𝒆 pack's next alpha. Caden didn't even allow the maids to open the doors. In the end, left with no choice, Patricia randomly adopted a child to serve as alpha. Compared to the inevitable decline of 𝒂𝒂𝒆 pack, fading like the setting sun, Windmere was rising. The sun bathed our vast and thriving lands in golden light. I held Caden close, gazing at my free and beautiful land, savoring this peaceful and wonderful moment. The end.